shoot. Hello, how are y'all doing today? My name is David Gugino, and in today's book review, we've got a little bit of... We have a book that I really liked, and it is The Quest for Character by Charles Swindoll. Swindoll, maybe. Now, as you can tell, this book is really, really old. But this book is actually one of the books that my uncle gave me. And it had a few things in it, but a lot of it is from a biblical side of character. And also, what I really like about this guy is he mentions in a few areas of the book that the most important thing that you can develop and work on in life is your character. And honestly, all the other things with building income, with building careers, and with building other people all comes with your character. So now we're going to dive into the book, but a little bit about Charles Swindoll is that he is a missionary, pastor, and stuff like that. And when people usually read the Bible, I say usually, they learn a lot about character. So, let's dive into the book and we'll get started. But The Quest for Character by Charles R. Swindoll. Oh, my bad. But now let's dive in and let you know the first thing I learned from this book that I really enjoyed. So, and some of these chapters are a little different. Like the one we're about to read is called Guard Your Heart. And the reason it's called that is to guard your heart from bad influences and things that will change your mindset towards wanting to be better and wanting to have better character in your life. So, listen to this for a second. Relentlessly we struggle for survival, knowing that any one of those strikes can hit the target and spread the poison that can immobilize and paralyze, rendering us ineffective. And what exactly is that target? The heart. That's what the Bible calls it. Our inner person down deep where hope is born, where decisions are made, where commitment is strengthened, where truth is stored, mainly where character, the stuff that gives us depth and makes us wise, is formed. So, what he meant there is when he says, like, guard your heart, and when he says relentlessly we struggle for survival, knowing that any one of those strikes can hit the target and spread poison that can immobilize and paralyze, rendering us ineffective. And what is that target exactly? What exactly is that target? The heart. So, honestly, when you watch bad things or you do bad things, it doesn't just affect your mind, it affects your heart and the way you think about people, the way you think about things in life, your job, your hobbies. It's just, honestly, is how, like, your character is going to change if you continue to do bad stuff. You might be a nice guy to people, like when they like turn on when you need to, but in reality, deep down, you're going to be having some issues. That's why watching pornography, for example, it amazes me how some people think people who don't watch porn are crazy. It's not, because it just pollutes your mind and makes you have bad thoughts and makes you just, honestly, I just think it makes you lonely because it is real intercourse, but in reality, it's on a screen. But anyway, that is a whole can of worms we're not going to go into, but guarding your heart and protecting your character where your wisdom is formed is very important, and that I took away from this book. Now, the next thing that we're going to read in this book, that was Guard Your Heart. And in this next chapter, we have loneliness in leadership. Now, this honestly made me think for a bit, and what I'm about to read to you made me think, because if you really think about it, most leaders and most big entrepreneurs spend most of their lives alone. I say most. A good portion of their beginning lives alone, but grinding. Like right now, I'm doing this at 8:30 at night, and my workday starts at 6 in the morning tomorrow, so I'm kind of filling this in, but that's not the point. The point is that the loneliness, if you don't guard your heart, like what we read before, the loneliness, whatever you do, spending time alone, like the productive side of it, whatever you do to make yourself grow when you're alone is going to get you far in life. And leaders develop that through being alone, through grinding, and through working, and through building their character alone. So now, listen to this. Listen to what I have for you. Most of the world's great souls have been lonely. Now, don't misread this. It's not that the leader is aloof and unaccountable or purposely withdrawing or has something to hide. It's just the nature of the role. It is in lonely solitude that God delivers his best thoughts, and the mind needs to be still and quiet to receive them. And much of the weight of the office simply cannot be borne by others. Mystical though. That's reading the next page. But now think about what I just read for a second. It's just the nature of the role. It is in lonely solitude that God delivers his best thoughts, and the mind needs to be still and quiet to receive them. And much of the weight of the office simply cannot be borne by others. So that is the other thing. Like, you're not going to change who you are by other people. Some other people might give you that push, but it is all you to change who you are, to change your character, and to change the way you think. So now the other thing that I had is, we're going through this a little too quickly, so I might add just a little bit more detail, some might say. But now, in this part, this is called 2 Memorable Minutes. So what this is about is when you meet somebody, or you're talking to somebody, or an employee, that 2-minute conversation, or even a minute and 30-second conversation, can change their life. Change the way they think, change the way they perceive things, change the way they view you. Because honestly, when you meet somebody new, you might come off, you might not tend to mean it that way, but you might come off as a prick, you might come off as a jerk, you might be all swelled up and people will think you're cocky. But in reality, when they realize that you're a nice guy and you care about people, that tends to change. But when people say first impressions matter, I believe in second chances, but honestly, first impressions matter. It's like, it's how they perceive you instantly. Like that. I'm actually impressed I snapped my fingers with my left hand. So now, listen to this. Listen to this. Depth, not length, is important. Not how long you take to talk, but how much you say. Not how flowery and eloquent you sound, but how sincerely and succinctly you speak. That's what is important. That's what is remembered. 2 memorable minutes can be more effective than 2 marathon hours. So think about that for a second. So just think about that for a second. It's depth and not length that's important. So when it comes to talking to somebody, the more in-depth the conversation is, now it could be something goofy, whether you're talking about rappers, actors, food, YouTube, whether it's something goofy, if you talk about something that you have in common with that person, that's just going to change the way they view people sometimes. Because people who hate the world, when they find that one person that's willing to listen to them, listening to hear what they have to say, and just asking them questions about their own life, to be honest, I consider my life kind of boring and plain and simple. I got this, I got fighting, I'm a power lifter, right now I'm a support operator at a factory, and that's just my life. But in reality, what you really need to think about is the simple fact of you just need to think really hard on talking to people. And the reason why you think hard about it is people say it might be easy or to not overthink it, but the reason you think about what you say is because you could offend somebody, you could not show interest at all, there's a list can go on and on when it comes to talking to people. Or you could be thinking you're holding up a great conversation, but you're sighing or you're looking away, and they're going to be like, this guy seems like he really doesn't want to talk to me. You know, I have people like that you don't want to talk to, but people say fake it till you make it. And honestly, a rule in life is you respect everybody. Now, you don't have to hang around them or go out to dinner with them, but you have to be nice to everybody and you have to respect everybody. Even the people that don't matter in your life. So overall, this book review was a little short. Let me see if I can let's find this right here. Think of this right here before we get into the ending of this video. Trust God to honor consistent generosity. Here's the big step, but it's essential. Go for it. When you really believe God is leading you to make a significant contribution, release your restraint and develop the habit of generosity. I seriously doubt that generosity has ever hurt many people. So yes, being generous and moving forward, and what's he said, and go for it, is a very, very important thing. And that chapter is called Give Your Heart. So honestly, when it comes to being nice to people, you're just nice to them, you're kind, you have fun with them, and you make their day. And you just go for it. And release your restraint and develop the habit of generosity. It's hard to not like someone that's generous, in my opinion. It really is. I mean, I eat it up when people want to talk about weightlifting, when people want to talk about reading, and I also eat it up when people just want to talk to me. And the reason why is because I enjoy talking to people. Now, obviously, like I said before, you're going to find those people who continue to talk to you and you don't want to talk to them, but even with my job right now at the factory, I'm talking to people left and right and getting to know people, but me being kind, generous, and helping them do the work has been very good, not impact, but they've been wanting to be around me more because of that. And that's not the goal. The goal is just because it's the right thing to do. There's your way, there's your way, and then there's the right way. And then there's the right thing to do. So, overall, I really like this book. Just remember to develop the habit of generosity. So I might have a lesson of the day at the end of this book series. So I call it a series. There's going to be more to come. I just have to read more. But I'm going to have an ending lesson at the end of each of these videos. And I'm going to have today, the lesson is develop the habit of generosity. Develop the habit of being kind and generous to people. And going for it when you see someone in need, or you're just seeing someone that is alone and just needs to be talked to. That is the lesson. I guess that's the task of the day. So overall, I really like this book. I say that about every one of my books. I need to have more details with the books that I have, but Quest for Character is a good one. It is about, obviously it's about building your character, but from a biblical side and from a reality side. Because in reality, character plays such a role in just the way you live, the way you talk, the way you hold yourself, the way you act, your work ethic, your eventually your income, your leadership, like we talked about. It affects everything. And people who don't care about their character are morons, in my opinion, because they're self-centered and they just, if you don't care, then what's the sense of talking about stuff, or even just talking about life in general to this particular person. And there are people like that who just want to go to work and go home, but like I said, you have to be generous and you have to be nice to everyone you meet. But overall, this was a very, very good book about character, and there's some biblical stuff in it, but what I just read to you was a little bit, but it just talks like that. It talks into more of an intelligent and very detailed way of how to act and how to improve, and not how to act, but how to improve and develop your character. So this is The Quest for Character by Charles R. Swindoll. I got it right that time. By The Quest for Character by Charles R. Swindoll. Now thank you all for watching, and you all have a great day.